All right, welcome to another episode of Keepers of the Gloom. I'm Kyle Tucker, 35, Chop, and my guest today is
Caleb Wilson, 39, Dr. Pepper Shake.
Dr. Pepper Shake. Dr. Pepper Shake, let's do some quick hits with you.
Yeah.
All right, where are you born?
Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What's your home AO?
Sparta.
Sparta. And your home region?
Wichita.
Okay. What's your favorite go-to cafeteria drink?
Americano with heavy cream and 2 sweet and lows, preferably.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Panera doesn't have that.
No, I know, but my preference.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. All right, what's your go-to exercise when you leave a beat down?
Oh man. I mean, burpees are go-to because, like, you can always, if I'm doing if your workout, if it feels like it's not enough, you can be like, all right, now burpees. And, like, very quickly, it's a good workout.
Very much. All right, what about your the exercise when someone says, all right, next exercise is, and you go, oh, man.
Burpees.
Yeah.
I have like, not a saying, but like every time, like, if I know it's a good workout if I get mad at the cue during it. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm like, really? Like, come on, dude. And I'll get genuinely upset. I'll be like, are you kidding me? And that's how, and then after I'm like, it was good. It was a good one.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's talk about your journey. How did you hear about F3?
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog.
Yeah.
So Boss Hog is the guy that invited you?
Yeah.
All right. What did you think about F3 before you actually came and experienced it?
I didn't get much time before I experienced it. It was like literally like the day before, was in a chat with him, and he's like, hey, some guys, friends of mine, we meet and we work out outside. It's no big deal. Just a couple guys, we work out outside, just body weight stuff. And then I showed up, and it was like, it wasn't just a couple of dudes like working out, it was the whole thing. And so that was my very quick experience with F3. Like, I was ready to go, I was ready to work out, and then showed up and I was like, oh, hey, this is intense.
Do you remember what the workout was?
Yeah, Boss Hog did kind of a circuit thing, and so he had set up stations, and we just went around station to station, and I remember really, really enjoying it. It was really hard, but it was a nice workout. It was a nice first workout for sure, because it wasn't so hard that I was like, I'm never doing this again. But it was good enough where I'm like, I need to do more.
Did you have any excuses that you gave him?
No, absolutely not. I was in a place where I was like, I needed to work out, and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on the gym because I've done that before, and like, it's like, you know, I can get into it for a while, and then it's like, you know, there's not that group of guys kind of calling you back.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest part of it.
So how long have you been doing F3?
Since March, so six-ish months. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you describe your F3 journey so far?
It's been a very quick transition from like very skeptical to like very much on board. Yeah. So like I feel like a lot of guys, like, you start it and you're kind of like, what is this? What's the catch? Like, what do I have to, okay, it's free, but like, when does the subscription kick in? When does this trial period end? And then you kind of get looped in with the guys, and you get into what it is. And now I'm like making t-shirts and patches and doing, starting the little yoga group. And yeah, so it's like, I told one of the guys when I started, I was like, I might come once a week. I think I could come once a week.
Yeah.
And now I come every day.
Pretty much. It's pretty much every day, because you do the Sunday ones now. You got us our 7th day in the Wichita region.
Right.
So, and a little bit of a mix-up. All right, so how'd you get your F3 name?
I don't know. There's a story behind it, kind of. I told someone about, so my original name was Grilled Onions, because I'm from Texas, lived in California, and so then it was a question of In-N-Out or Whataburger. I said any place that serves grilled onions on a burger is fine by me. So it was Grilled Onions for about half a day. Then the queue calls and says, hey, I'm changing your name. Calling an audible on that. There's a story about a beverage. I don't want to go into it on the thing, but he's like, your name is Dr. Pepper Shake. I can't go to the store. I don't know. I feel
That's fine.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
All right. So, what's been your favorite F3 moment so far?
Favorite F3 moment. I mean, I guess like the one moment I think is just like a group of us went to Colorado for kind of a group trip. One of I mean, as much as I like these guys and like whatever, I kind of was like, I never put like I tell my wife, like, I'm going to work out with these guys. I think they all are like super into it, but like, I'm kind of there for the workout. And then like, you grow and like you become friends with everyone, and it's like you learn about people's like, stuff going on and everything, and it's organic how you kind of grow together. And then I was like, oh, we'll see how this trip goes. So I don't know. I don't know any of these guys like that. And there's just like a moment where we're all just like sitting out on the porch, and it's like sharing stories and hanging out. And I was like, man, like 4 months ago, I like didn't know these guys, and now I'm driving 10 hours both ways to like stay at a cabin and kick it and like bike and hike and whatever, and like I wouldn't have imagined, like, and it's so cool. I had such a good time.
Yeah.
So that was like the one moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you seen any health benefits joining F3?
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's a few guys where it's like you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, they're giving you the, look, like something's got to change, like, whatever. And I have atrial fibrillation, so that was another concern kind of coming in. I was like, I was kind of scared to work out. Like, I didn't know where that limit was. So it was like I was walking and kind of like whatever, but I never imagined I'd be like pushing myself like this. And I think the biggest change is that I feel very confident, like pushing myself now and exerting that kind of energy. And that's huge, like just huge, like to not be like afraid every day of like, I had an instance where it was like, it was not good. And so just that like fear of that happening again was like weighing on me. And now it's like built back my confidence just in my body and what I'm capable of. And so.
That's what we always say. Push yourself, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Know your limits, that you don't have to.
Yeah. And the ability, right. The ability for at any time I can peel off and not feel pressure to push beyond what I know. And so that was another big part of that too.
Because you got guys that are going to pick up your 6.
Exactly.
Come back and help you out. All right, what's been your most memorable beatdown so far?
I think the convergences, the convergence eye. I think going to the fortress was convergence was like my first like experience of that, and to have like 50 guys like show up and like working out together was like kind of just a crazy experience. It's like really cold and like kind of like one of those like I'm going through like this miserable experience with a bunch of dudes like in the early morning, and it was kind of cool. And then you get done with it and you're like, I did that. Like that's what I did today.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Whose cue is a guaranteed push that when you see it you're like, oh man, it's gonna be rough.
I feel like it's you. Oh man, there's a bunch actually.
There are.
I hurt my foot on Heisenberg's, but that was just from kicking a ball wrong. So like, I don't know if that counts. I feel like yours are the most recent, really difficult ones for me, because it's anything that involves like where I'm getting up and down. So again, back to burpees being garbage. Those, I'd say yours are like Fonz or Moana.
Fonz or Moana's another good one.
Moana just has a disregard for like
for
anyone. He's just like, yeah, you're hurt. There's that hill. Go after it. Why don't you grab 2 coupons while you're at it?
Yeah. What keeps you coming back to F3?
It's the guys. It's absolutely the guys. Like, I think, and I've talked about it a couple times with some of the guys. It's like, especially like new guys. Like, there's no requirement. The only thing we ask is that you show up, and like by showing up, you give guys the opportunity to get at each other's 6. Like by showing up, you give a cue a chance to lead, and like all you got to do that is to be there, and then we'll take care of the rest. And I think it's just that community aspect of it, where it's like I don't want to go, but I know there's going to be some guys there, and that's like the half step that that gets you out of bed, and then to the brush your teeth, and then all right, I'll go, whatever. And so yeah, without the guys, it would be a workout that I do for 2 months and then stop.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, what F3 son are you most proud of, and why?
You said F3 Sun?
Yeah, the ones
Okay.
that you've invited.
Yeah. No, Tinder.
Okay.
Just because, like, when I started to meet these guys, and Tinder was my neighbor, across the street neighbor, then we moved apart. But
The West Side, right?
yeah, I know, right? And garbage people. Just kidding. They're great people. They're fine people. They're okay. No, I lost my train. Yeah, no, Tinder. I was like, man, like I think he'd really get in well with these guys, and like kind of right out of the gate, I think I got lucky, like, or Bossok got lucky with me where it was like, hey, do you want to come? I was like, yeah. And so for Tinder, I was like, hey, you want to come? He's like, yeah. And then he like kind of jumped into it, and so that was cool to kind of be on that side of it for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When I say high impact man, or him, what F3 guy comes to mind, and why?
There's a couple guys, but I'd say Chop. I know that like we're working on like t-shirt designs together. I know that like there's stuff that like I get to put my hands on, and so I'm like, but you're taking it and like leading the logistics on that, and then I'll see another message where you're doing the same thing with like some other element of this, and like I'm like, man, like you've got your hands in like so many things going on, and like running that and doing your job and doing your family, and like like I'm like that's amazing, like that's great, like this is a volunteer deal, and like I feel like a lot of the stuff you do is like cool, necessary stuff that makes this experience better, and isn't always like the funnest to do. And so like, yeah, absolutely. And leading cues and like just destroying us and our legs, and on a semi-weekly basis, like, yeah, absolutely. So,
well, that's the goal, is when you cue, to just make it suck.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you got to do.
I mean, you can make it fun. You can
And
make it a
fun.
little fun.
We did do that.
Actually, you
We
did
had
make
fun.
it
We
fun.
had
You made it
fun on
real
Wednesday.
fun.
We had a lot of fun.
You're gamifying
Yeah.
workouts, like, man.
All right, enough about me. In a few sentences, tell me why F3 is so special to you.
It's special to me, and I feel it because I've recorded these a couple times, so I hear some of the same stuff, but I'm like, yeah, it's the kind of the same deal. Like, you get somewhat like a group of guys who come from different areas, different backgrounds, whatever, into this one space where we meet in fitness, we meet in the idea of faith, and this idea that we're this fellowship of guys, and I don't know, these are a lot of guys who I wouldn't come into contact with outside of this, and I've been really glad that I've been introduced to this group and these people. And so and I mean, just like at the end, like the workout is huge, and that's been such a benefit to me, and I feel like it's kind of a gift of that group to get me here, and so like I really appreciate that. So it's the guys, it's getting together, it's this different group of dudes, and yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was the primary in your fitness, became the secondary in the fellowship has become kind of what the primary motivation is. So that's good stuff, man.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you. This has been another episode of Keepers of the Gloom. To learn more, visit f3wichita.com.